8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Thanks for joining. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica. I'm the business manager here at EM Publishing, and I'm here at one of our monthly live streams to let you know what's going on with us at EM Publishing. So I'm going to talk about Kickstarter fulfillments, Kickstarter projects we've got live, what we've got going forward, and just a chance for you to jump in and ask any questions. So if you have any questions or comments, jump in the chat and ask me. I'll be happy to answer. If you're watching this on catch up, that's not a problem. You can send me an email and I'll answer, and the address is on the screen right now. It's admin@empublishingrpg.co.uk. So if I did not answer your question or you have something specific regarding your orders, you can always contact me there. I'll get in touch that way. So I'll be talking this evening. It's just me. Last month we did have the wonderful Paul Hughes on as a guest, who is the author of Pets and Sidekicks, which is currently live on Kickstarter right now as we speak. So if you're wanting to hear more about that, wherever you're watching this, if you go to last month's live stream, the information will be there. It's also linked, I believe, on the Kickstarter page, and I'll put the Kickstarter page link in the show notes so you can just click through on there. So if you want to listen to Paul talking about that, that's all available on there. But for now, this is just me this month going through. So bear with me and do join in the chat if you have any questions. So I'm not just talking to myself, because that is the first sign of madness. But anyway, we'll ignore that. So first of all, I'm going to start by doing a shipping and fulfillment update. If you are one of the crowdfunding backers we have, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. The Gatepass Gazette Annual and the Monstrous Menagerie 2 have been fulfilled. So all the books have left the warehouses if you gave us your address. If you haven't received your rewards, if you go to the crowdfunding page, it'll tell you how to get in touch with us. Usually that is just the admin email, which is the easiest one, or via that crowdfunding platform's messages. So you can send us a message if you haven't received your book or tracking information, and we can let you know what's happening with that. So that's all done, but there are some things still in fulfillment that we're working through, and that is these two wonderful products. So we have Split the Horde and the Void Runners Codex. Now I need to brace myself for this. Luckily I went to the gym yesterday, so I can be ready to lift this beast of a box set. So they exist. Manufacturing is complete as per our update last month. And I just did an update in each of the campaign pages, but they're pretty much saying the same thing. So I'll put the links in the show notes to the specific updates. But the summary is manufacturing has been complete, and we are now in the shipping stage. And when I say shipping, that means taking it from the factory to the local warehouse to where we are, because we have warehouses in the UK, the US, and Australia, so that we can do domestic shipping to reach you, because that avoids any taxes at your door and things like that. We will, of course, be paying taxes when things arrive at port. But there we go. We've talked enough about tariffs in the past. But the summary of that is you should be receiving your rewards for the Void Runners Codex and Split the Horde in August or September, depending on where you are in the world and when it reaches the warehouses. We'll do a Kickstarter update when they arrive at port and when they clear customs, because time at customs can be anywhere between a couple of days or a few weeks, depending on how busy customs is. So we are a little bit at their mercy, which is why we're giving the vague August-September dates, because it depends on how long customs take and where you are in the world. But so excited to get these rewards out to you. They've been a long time coming. Thank you for bearing with us with the tariff situation. To clarify the tariff situation on these products, the tariffs do apply in the US for these. However, we are not passing that cost on to backers because you've already paid via your crowdfunding platform. So we're not going to ask you for any more money. So what will happen is we're going to pay the costs at port. We're just going to absorb that cost, which is a little bit painful. But we don't want to pass that on to you as backers, because that didn't seem too fair at this time. So that's the decision we've decided to do. So you won't receive any tariff costs as US backers when they arrive with you. Here's the underlying summary. So they'll be with you soon. Really excited to get these books to you, and especially the box set. This is so heavy, the shipping for this. We've had so many conversations about how we're shipping it, how we're packaging it so it doesn't get damaged. At the factory, they've been doing loads of drop tests where they literally take some versions of them and just chuck them about to see how much damage can happen. And we've got some special padding planned for them to try and minimize that, because we know some couriers do like to chuck parcels around. So we're doing as much as we can to try and make sure that gets to you safely as possible. But anyway, So that is kind of shipping and fulfillment. We do have a Kickstarter live right now, Pets and Sidekicks, which I mentioned, which I will come back to. But I do want to tell you else something exciting that's new on the web store, and that is our web store, which is empublishingrpg.co.uk. So the Monster Manager 2 has been fulfilled, and so it's now available on the web store. So if you missed the crowdfunding campaign, don't worry, it's there and available for you now to pick up. So I'll put the link in the comments to the specific product, but it's also on the screen. So the empublishingrpg.com web store. So you can go and pick that up now and have it sent out to you. And that's available on there. We also have a D&D summer sale. So this is for D&D 5e. So we have over 500 small PDFs on there that are less than $5 each. And that can be just like a handful of monsters or an adventure for a specific level. And we've got tools on there where you can use filters to say, I'm looking for a monster of this particular CR, or I'm looking for an adventure for this level for player characters, or I'm looking for magic items, or I'm looking for spells, or whatever. We've got all the filters on the website so you can kind of choose what that is. But right now we're doing a bundle deal. So some of these are like $1 or less to pick up these PDFs. And this will be going on throughout all of July. Again, I'll put the link in the show notes. This is for our Dungeons and Dragons products. And I'll put the link specifically to where you go on the show notes. You go to empublishingrpg.com under the Dungeons and Dragons collection, and you'll see that image of the bundles. Now they range between $10 and $80. And then you can either pick up 10 PDFs or you can pick up 100 PDFs. And how that works is you select the bundle, and then you go on the site and you filter through, and then you select all the items, individual PDFs that you want. And then once you've got them all selected, then you go to checkout and pay. And when you go to checkout, you'll see you'll only be charged the bundle price. But you'll be able to see all the items that you've chosen before checkout. So make sure you select all the PDFs that you want before checkout, because that'll make admin easy. If anything does go wrong with that process and you forget, you pick 8 and check out by mistake, you can email us and let me know, and I'll select the other 2 for you and send it to you manually, because we have had a couple of people do that already, so you won't be the only one, don't worry. But we have Dungeons and Dragons PDFs available for like $1 really, so $10 and that'll get you 10 PDFs. I think $80 gets you 100 PDFs, and you can pick which ones they are from a catalogue of 500 different PDFs. So if you're just looking for monsters, great, go have a look at that. If you're just looking for character classes, character options, great. Or if you're looking for particular CRs of monsters, or you're looking for a specific adventure level for your campaign, it's all there. So that's really great. And if you want to support us at EM Publishing, that would be a really fantastic way to do it. So we'd love your support with that. So thanks so much. That is the summer sale that we're having on the website there. So if you go to empublishingrpg.com and you can check that out. Live on Kickstarter, as I mentioned, we do have Pets and Sidekicks, which is live on Kickstarter. We've had so much, a really good PR response to this campaign, which has been really great. So you can see we're on Polygon, we're on Geek Native, there's a Rascal thing, there's so many I'm forgetting now. Tech Geek, all these places. So there's loads of places that have written stuff, and there's more coming out because there's some interviews that Paul's been doing, which has been really fantastic, which is really, really great to hear, because sometimes when anyone that's publicized their own Kickstarter campaign for their games knows that sometimes it feels like you're screaming into the void, sending things out to influencers and PR people, and no one picks anything up. But this has been really great to see that there's been a really nice response, and people have written about it and have been interested, which is really, really great. Paul Hughes, the writer, he's been so busy running around doing interviews everywhere for us, so thank you so much to him. If you go onto the Kickstarter page, which I put the link for in the chat, or it's on screen right now, there's a press and media section where you can see all of the links. You can read all the articles, you can see all of the previews, as in-depth interviews with Paul, talking about the book and getting information about it, which is great to see. But yes, so that is all the things that we have there. So I just have some questions. Right, do you have any information? Oh, so unfortunately, this live stream we have right now, so the question is asking about why they pushed the Eberron Artificer book back to December. So this live stream we're doing right now is for talk about EM Publishing kind of stuff. That might be a more useful conversation tomorrow for Morris's unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk podcast. But the short answer is, yes, there was an article up on EM World about this, which has the information. I believe there was an issue with the cover, and they had to do a reprint, like a quality control issue. So they recalled those ones, didn't send them out, and they're reprinting, and so that moves the timeline on in a nutshell. But I will talk about the Eberron date moving back further tomorrow, because now I'm talking about EN publishing things. And the reason I want to talk about EN publishing things is because literally, yes, we're in the stage, as you know, if you support EN publishing, we have the PDFs ready for campaigns as soon as, so that we can send them out the day the Kickstarter ends. The Kickstarter's ending in about 2 weeks, I think she says off the top of her head, 2 weeks. Yes, 14 days. And so we've got the PDF ready. We're just in the proofreading stages. So we're all just reading through and doing the little tweaks and information. And so I have in front of me the PDF version of Pets and Sidekicks. And for those of you that come to the monthly live streams, I thought I would give you a sneak preview, because why not? I don't know if I'm allowed to, I haven't checked, but I'm doing it. So here we have the PDF. So yeah, we have all the credits here and the information, table of contents. You can download the first chapter of this for free. If you go to the Kickstarter page, there is a link, so you can download the introduction, which is this lovely bit here, so you can read through and the information. I love the artwork in this. The artwork in this, if you notice, is kind of telling a bit of a story about this, the cover dragon. If you notice, Junior, the dragon that's in the front. So this introduction, we see that the adventurers are fighting this adult dragon, and there's an egg cracking there. And in chapter 2, oh look, the adventurers find it, and that goes through there. And then, oh, it's just a bit longer. And then we see the dragon growing up, being part of the party and being part of the adventures. And then we see that the dragon's learning things to be useful and is getting involved in the party, running into battle with them and learning its tricks and all the different options that you can use to customize. And here we see Junior getting the bandana of the good boy, which is one of the many magic items you can get in the game. And where else? We've got more. And then we have the nice moment of, Junior's getting a little bit bigger there and is growing. Because dragons, when you had them in your party as a hatchling in this game, that's all very well and good. But when they grow up, they're going to be sentient beings. They're not going to be pets forever. They're going to have their own thoughts and motives, and they're not going to be able to be controlled by the party for a very long time. There's lots of companions that do that, which brings out a really interesting roleplay element and is really fun for GMs to kind of work with. So obviously some creatures that won't be the case with, but if you think these wild beasts, like you get a baby owlbear cub, sure, he'll be cute at the beginning, but he's going to grow up at some point. But yeah, so I really like the artwork in here, and as the chapters go through, it's telling the story of this adventuring party, which maybe gives you some information for yours. But what I'm going to talk to you about now is some of the character options. Because I know if you listen to Paul, we talked a lot about, the various different companions you can have, that you can teach them tricks, how you can tame wild animals, how you can have companions as well that can be adversaries that level up alongside you. So that could help with if you have a smaller party and you want to bulk out the party. That's an easy way for GMs to kind of have a reoccurring NPC or another party member that's easier to manage. But we also have character options. So the idea is that there's something for every single class that allows them some sort of bonuses or abilities with companions. And my favorite one is the Rogue Shadow Tamer, because shocked to hear I like rogues. So where did I just jump to? I jumped to the wrong place because I am not smart, but that's okay. Where is it? This is a good, interesting demo to hear you see me. There we are. The Rogue Shadow Tamer. So this is an archetype for the rogue, and it has really fun features in it. So at level 3, you get a companion, and you can choose what your companion is. Now, we've given some options here that's like a bat or a cat or a monkey or rat or raven, or weasel, or something that could be quite sneaky and feels rogue themed. But you could pick, almost anything if you really wanted from chapter 5. You could choose any of the companions there that would work with your character backstory and background that you've chosen for them. And it's a heroic companion, so it gains 2 heroic levels immediately. So this just happens when your character becomes level 3. Its intelligence score is a 5 if it normally would be lower. And that is because you two have such a good bond that you understand each other even without language. So you're able to kind of communicate, which is a really nice thing. Also at third level, you have this thing, the feature that's called Menagerie of Night, which you can see here. And it allows you to coordinate groups of creatures to aid you. So let's say if you chose a bat, you could summon a swarm of bats that stays for an hour and works for you in combat. And you can command it without using a bonus action, and I just think that's very fun. At level 9, you get improved bond, so you have a really forged a really strong bond over time with your creature, and you get to choose one of the bonds for it. So one is the bond of distraction, so your creature can learn how to draw attention to itself, so it can maybe does a little performance skill or a dance, so everyone goes, wow, look at that dancing cat over there, and you as the rogue can sneakily go off and do what you want with this dancing cat being the distraction. Or the opposite of that, you can give them the boon of subtlety, so your companion is sneaky themselves, so maybe they're off going sneaky sleight of hand things. And then there's also the bond of violence, and I like the bond of violence option because it's given all the different options for how you can stealthily, you can do a distraction to get and do what you need to do, you can sneakily do the thing, or just violence, which is an option that if you've ever GM'd a game, many players sometimes choose just violence. And so basically the trained companion becomes better at attacking and things like that. But I just like that the bond of violence is available and an option, because violence is sometimes an option. So at the 13th level, you get accustomed to working together, so you can do so without thinking. So when you're within 30 feet of each other, you gain expertise dice on strength, dexterity, and wisdom checks, which is a huge thing, which is really, really great. But yeah, so this is a really nice, and at 17th level, you also get different improved bond features as well. And as you can see, all the different character classes have an archetype or features or different things that helps them have a connection with a companion of some sort, and you can kind of choose what that is. There's the sorcerer, there's a necromancer archetype, so you can have a zombie butler or something if you wanted. But yeah, so there's loads of really fun character options in here, which I think is really nice as well, and it gives players the option, if you want to, if you want to play a rogue or a different class, but you want to have a role-playing connection to creatures in the world, this option is available there for you as well. And of course, there's loads of fun equipment and magic items, and so much fun stuff going on there. That's a little. Oh, I got a hiccup. Sorry. That's a little sneak preview we have there. I hope you enjoyed having a little sneak preview of the PDF there. As I say, if you back that on Kickstarter now, you will receive the PDF in 2 weeks. PDF will be done. We're in the proofreading stage and just checking, because there'll be the odd weird word or link that's not in the right place. And we're planning to have the physical books with you by January. Will be the plan, because we're ready to start getting the files to the printers next month, really. So as soon as we get the money from the Kickstarter campaign, that's when we'll place the order with the printers, pay them, and get that all going. But yeah, that's Pets and Sidekicks. And as I mentioned, many chapters in there, gorgeous artwork. But it's available for the next 2 weeks, so I'd love it if you could check that out and give your support. But this is the EN Publishing Monthly Update, so we don't just tell you about what's going on now, we're going to tell you about what's going on in the future as far as we can plan. So another thing we have going on, which I'm very excited about, is the What's Old is New Bestiary. We're all about the creatures this year. We launched Monstrous Menagerie 2 is available in the online store. Pets and Sidekicks is on Kickstarter, and then we're going to have the What's Old is New Bestiary. So What's Old is New is our system at EN Publishing. It uses a D6 dice pool system and has a kind of crunchy life path, character creation, and it's very much a toolkit RPG. So each of the 3 core books are themed around old, which is old fantasy, now, which is modern day action, and new, which is science fiction. And the idea is that it really gives you a toolkit to build your own worlds and your own stories, and the system is available for you to use in that way. And people have been wanting a bestiary for a while to expand the different options that you can use in the system. And we have that available for you. So this is the book, this is the cover, this is what it's going to look like. The art style is very similar to the What's Old is New starter box set, if you had that, which we launched last year, the year before. That is available. It looks very much similar to the starter box set. And we're also going to have some stretch goals, maybe, that if we hit a certain number, we might do a different cover design that matches this for the original core 3 books for Old, Now, New, so it all matches and brings the trade dress up. So we'll see if we get enough people choosing them as add-ons and things, but that'll be coming in the Kickstarter. Again, I will just put this in the comments, so if you're at all interested, you can click through to that there. So the book has loads and loads of, it's a bestiary, so it's got loads of things in there. So the first chapter just gives you a little introduction, explains how everything works and how you can use the book. Then we have a section on monsters, and then we have a section on NPCs. Chapter 3 talks you through how to edit these. So because this is very much a toolkit system, we're expecting people to have their own worlds, their own lore, their own creatures. So if something's kind of right, like this assimilator, for example, but you just need to tweak it for your setting in some way, we have a chapter telling you, how to do that. I think there's over 200 creatures in the book, NPCs and monsters, maybe 300. I'll have to check. More than 200, I'm going to say confidently. But if for some reason what's there doesn't suit what you're doing, because again, you've got your own worlds and your own game and story that you're running there, not a problem. One of the chapters goes through and teaches you how to build them from scratch. So using the principles that we do to create these, we have that in the book. So you can either edit things that are existing, we talk you through how to change that. So for example, the assimilator, maybe you have something similar in a fantasy setting that you want to tweak and change so it suits that kind of genre. We can talk you through that, or we can talk you through just going from scratch how to build it yourself. Because I know a lot of people that play What's Old is New are very much into kind of the mechanics and building their own thing and having it fit their setting. So that's pretty much what the book is. It does everything you'd expect. Really excited for it to come out. The assimilator is an example of what the page spread looks like to give you an idea. So very similar to the Monstrous Menagerie for Level Up, we've taken the same ideas behind creating a bestiary that way. We've got information on the creature. We've got examples of layers that could be there. So like what environment will they be in? What are they doing? And we've also got plot hooks. So it's a way that you could easily insert this into your game and have that available, as well as, of course, all the stats and everything like that you'd expect to see. For the monsters, of course, there are some creatures and NPCs that have variants of them, and an ape is a really good example of this. So you'll see here, this is the page spread of the introduction to what the apes are, the example of their layers and plot hooks, and then as you can see, we've got various variants for it, like the giant ape, regular ape, gorilla, monkey. And I know monkey is not technically an ape, but it goes in that category in the book. And if you're ever confused as to where it is, there's a big old in-text in the back so you can look through. So creatures that have variants, they'll look very much like this. So they'll have the section on where it is, and then it kind of goes through on there. But we have more than 200 of these, and we hope that you'll find them useful. The book isn't genre specific, so this will cover now, old, and new, because some things will work for any kind of genre, and some things you'll tweak to make sense. Like maybe if you have a scout in a fantasy setting will be different from a scout in a sci-fi setting, probably based on if it's a human or if it's what equipment it has. So again, we talk you through those tweaks and things so you can make it fit in your setting. But that is what's going to be coming up next after we finish pets and sidekicks. And then speaking of things in space, Alpha Star Magazine. So what is Alpha Star Magazine? If you have not heard before, this is going to be our quarterly magazine for the Void Runners Codex. So the core Void Runners Codex, oh my gosh, is going to be here. And that is going to be with you in September time. As I mentioned, manufacturing is complete. We're just in the shipping stage of this now. And when that is with you in September, that is roughly when we're planning on launching Alpha Star Magazine. So it's ongoing support for the Void Runners Codex. That is going to be on BackerKit, because we're now trying different crowdfunding platforms. We've had the Gate Pass Gazette Annual this year put onto BackerKit. And so we're trying that out for all of Alpha Star Magazine, because it's going to be quarterly. So it didn't really work as a monthly Patreon because we're doing it quarterly. And there isn't a way to charge you quarterly on Patreon anymore. So it's on BackerKit in summary. If you're interested in this, it would be great if you could have a click through, not a lick. I mean, you can lick your computer if you want. It's your house. It's yours. So you do what you want. But there's a link I've just put in the comments there. And this is the link to be notified when Alpha Star Magazine launches. I think that's going to be like September, October time, because we want to do it once everyone has their physical copies of the Void Runners Codex. And this is just going to be ongoing support. So it's going to be new things for the Void Runners Codex, really. And you can get in touch with us and say what sort of support and content you want from the Star Magazine. We've got the first issue. The first issue is done. It's laid out. It's been written. All the artwork's been ordered. It's pretty much ready to go. Because originally, before tariffs, we were expecting to be fulfilling around now. But I digress. Alpha Star Magazine will be coming out, and it's going to be the quarterly magazine that you can find on BackerKit, and then it will, of course, be available a few months later on our online web store as well. But that will be coming out later this year in the third quarter. Level Up Gateway. For those not in the know, Level Up Gateway is our online character builder for Level Up Advanced 5th edition that is being built. It's currently in open alpha. So for the first 6 months or so, it was available. It was just for the original Level Up Advanced 5th edition backers, but now it's open to anybody and everybody. So if you head into levelupgateway.com, you can go and create characters for free. I know all the character classes up to level 10 have been created. We're adding the ability to make mixed heritages currently. A new thing that's come out this month is that monsters are now available on the site. So there's going to be over 500 monsters there, which will be from the original Monstrous Menagerie that you can use. And we've also added the ability to have companions because that'll make sense for pets and sidekicks down the road once that's out. But yeah, at the moment, like I say, it is in alpha, so it's not fully done. It's still being worked on, so if you spot any bugs or issues, you can let us know. There's a form on there, and it is just up to level 10 currently, but we're slowly going through all the character classes and building them up to level 20 to get that done. Like I say, it is free. Our plans for the site is that it will be free to make characters using the core rule books. So the information from Trials and Treasures, original Monstrous Menagerie, Adventurer's Guide will be on there for free always for you to use. So that's our ongoing plan. And then for all the other level up content, we're looking at maybe kind of a monthly subscription model so you can have all the other stuff if you want it. But the idea is that everything from the Adventurer's Guide and creating a character is there for you to use for free. Yeah, that's kind of the idea behind Level Up Gateway if you weren't familiar. And work is still very much ongoing on that. Like I said, the newest thing is monsters being added. I'll link our July development updates. We're doing monthly development updates, letting you know kind of what's going on and what the plans and the roadmap is. So you can check that out. It's also linked on the Level Up Gateway site. If you go on the front page, you'll see on the news section, it has information about that. But that's on levelup5e.com under news. You'll see all the updates that go on there to let you know what's going on with Level Up Advanced 5th edition and Level Up Gateway. And there's some images of Level Up Gateway looking gorgeous, as you'd expect. And that brings me to the end of the news, I believe. I think that is everything I have to share this month. Like I said, the big headline things is the fact that we have Pets and Sidekicks, which is now live on Kickstarter that you can go and check out. Would love your support on that. It's live for another 2 weeks. And then you'll get the PDF the same day that the Kickstarter ends. So we'll send that out to you so you can be reading through the rules and incorporating that in your games, next month if you'd like. The other thing is on our web store. If you missed the Monstrous Menagerie 2 Kickstarter, it's now available on our web store, empublishingrpg.com. And we're also having a big sale. We've got D&D PDFs for just £1. We've got a bundle and you pick 10 PDFs for just $10. And then we have 100 for like $80. So there's a range of scales in between there. So you just go on to the website, you select the bundle, and then it says to click here to pick your PDF. So you pick the ones you want. There's a selection of 500 different options that you can have. So if you're just looking for monsters or if you're just looking for adventures, you can choose what you're looking for, even down to the CR. I spent ages coding the back end of the site. Please use it. It took forever to go through all 500 and tag what it is and things. But I hope it's useful to navigate. Anyway, and those are the big kind of headline things we've got going on at EM Publishing. And of course, if you're here for fulfillment of Split the Horde and the Void Runners Codex, that will be with you in September because we are shipping them now. Maybe the end of August, depending on where you are in the world. But I'm going to confidently say September because by then everyone should have their stuff. But that is all for now. So I'm going to end the monthly live stream. We do these every month. It's on usually the third Thursday of every month I do these. But if you go to the empublishingrpg.com website on the front page, if you scroll down, it has a list of all the dates that we're live streaming for the rest of the year. Or if you go onto YouTube or Facebook. It's got the schedule there, so you can click to be notified if you find these interesting and informative. I will be back next month to speak to you in August. But if you have any questions, or you're watching this on catch up and I didn't answer your question, or I didn't cover something that you were interested in, send me an email. The message is on the screen. Don't send me DMs on private messages like Discord and things, because I sometimes miss them, is the only thing, because I get so much spam on there. So if you do need to get in touch with me, if you message me on the crowdfunding platform or to that email address on the screen, I will definitely see it and I will reply to you and be able to get back to you to help. That is all for this week, I believe. So I'm going to say thank you very much for all your support and goodbye, and I'll see you next month. Bye.